Hello, welcome back to another news video for Final Fantasy XIV. Today, the 8th of August 2025. We've got a small hotfix patch applied to the game. If you had to download something, you might be wondering what exactly was downloaded. Essentially, this was some hotfixes that were affected basically various different systems in the game from the launch of patch 7.3. So let's look through these. The first one then is in the extreme version of the trial that we will not mention. Implemented in 7.3, only one totem instead of two was obtained as a reward upon completion. This was a bug, in fact, since the fight in question apparently does not have a checkpoint. It says, for those who obtain totems before the fixes, we will compensate you with the corresponding number of totems and send them via Moogle letter as soon as we are able to confirm the logs. So they will be internally checking their internal logs to see if you are eligible for more totems. But if you were wondering why is it such a long fight and why do we only get one totem, well, that's essentially why. Okay, it was an issue that they are fixing and has fixed, but they're also giving compensation. Additionally, it says players were unable to catch the time-worn Gargantua skin map whilst fishing. This was an interesting one. So fishers everywhere on day one, in the past couple of days actually, have been trying to get the new maps, which obviously come from Living Memory, the last zone in Dawntrail, and they just weren't spawning. They were not in existence. This was a known issue. They were pretty prompt about posting about this a day or two ago, and they say after 7.3, with an asterisk here, we will compensate players who fished at the affected fishing spots with Fisher level 95 or higher, which is the requirement for catching the target fish, or map, I guess, during the period, this period, before the bug was fixed with one time-worn Gargantua skin map. We will send this compensation via Moogle letter as soon as we're able to confirm the logs. Again, so more compensation on the way. Unfortunately, another issue there. They also say in some of the Omicron's Allied Society quests, the map markers with class icons indicated collection locations that were incorrectly positioned. This has also been fixed, so obviously there's some knock-on effects for some reason with the Omicrons, which is really surprising, considering that's not even this expansion. Next, it says the substat of the equipment Mayakov ringbands of scouting was listed as spell speed instead of skill speed. They should have fixed that also in this patch, so that's also another reason for this update. So you're wondering, what do I use with spell speed? No, you don't use spell speed at all. Don't worry, it doesn't scale your mudras, or at least I don't think it does. Instead, we get skill speed, which is what's supposed to be on there. It says, when certain hairstyles were applied to male aura characters, unnatural shadows appeared on the hair, depending on the lighting conditions. That has also been fixed, which is good to know. And the client may crash upon exiting a duty. This is something a lot of people have reported, actually. There's been quite a lot of instability with this patch. I've noticed a lot of people reporting crashes or incredibly long hang times when you come out of a duty. I'm not sure if that's related to this, but if you go do the treasure map dungeon, when you get kicked out inevitably, it just seems to sit there for a very long time. And this applies to any PC from people I've talked to, high-end or low-end sort of budget PC setups. I don't know if it's just a PC side thing, but apparently the client may crash upon exiting a duty, so it appears that they have fixed whatever was going on with that then. In Crystalline Conflicts Cloud 9 and Clockwork Castletown, players with the Hysteria or Seduce status were no longer affected by certain gimmicks. We have confirmed that this issue was caused by the specification changes listed below. As an emergency temporary measure, we have rolled back the following specification changes to a state prior to 7.3. We apologize for this inconvenience this will cause. Once the official fix for the issue is complete, we plan to reapply these specification changes. So just to reiterate, players with Hysteria or Seduce status would be unable to move in the following stages. So this includes jump glyphs, trick doors on Clockwork Castletown, the bottomless desert on Red Sands, and jump glyphs on the Bayside Battleground. So anything that was essentially allowing your character to move around in PvP. Basically, this is something that they have had to roll back from. Yeah, basically it was affecting other gimmicks as well, so they've rolled that back. So in theory, they should have addressed this temporarily. It just means that there's going to be another patch at some point in the future. Overall, patch 7.3 does seem to be quite a good patch. A lot of people have been saying it's been quite well received, I think it's fair to say. But there are a lot of issues with it. And some really interesting knock-on effects, especially with like the fishing thing and, you know, stuff with totems not being there and the incorrect item status, you know, on items like spell speed instead of skill speed. I'm not sure if this is a QA failure or what happened up to the run out of releasing this patch, but it certainly does seem like there could have been a little bit more QA on this. But again, Square Enix does appear to be fairly prompt at trying to fix a good amount of these. But with the PvP changes, it does probably mean that we're going to need another emergency patch at some point. So hopefully we can hear sooner rather than later about that. Anyway, that's it pretty much for the 8th of August 2025. I'll keep you updated if there's anything else planned. But if you have had those issues affect you, please let me know. And if there's anything else that you have found that isn't listed here or in any of the known issues, yeah, let us know in the comment section below. I'm very curious to see what other things have been found and what other things need to be fixed, basically. There are a ton of other things that have been fixed that were mentioned in a previous video that we talked about with the known issues. So it seems like there are still ongoing things, but yeah, it's better to have little patches like this than it is to leave things the way they are. So, and I certainly like the idea of honoring, you know, backdating totems and things. The map, they probably could have given you more, honestly. Who knows how long fishers were there trying to get this map. Probably hours. But anyway, let me know. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. More 7.3 videos on the way. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.